All right, hello everybody. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Thanks for joining me today. Today is Friday, February 21st, 2025. Hope you're having a wonderful day so far. Let's go ahead and get this started. We got the Twitch going, we got the YouTube going. Thank you everybody for joining me. Truly, truly. Really appreciate everybody stopping in. I'm going to put this to 15,000. Sorry, I just restarted the stream. I wanted to, I wasn't really ready to go there, and I wanted to make sure I was ready to go for everybody in terms of getting things set up, and I was really tired and yawning. I wanted to make sure it was started good from the start. Let's go ahead, and I had some audio problems on my end. Wasn't hearing things. Now I think we're good. All right. There we go. Think we're good. Okay, let me go here to the all right, here we go. We are live. Hey Ryan, hey Winghong, welcome back. I hope you're having a wonderful day again. Welcome back to you too. Truly appreciate you guys coming in and saying what's up and hanging out with me again. How are you guys doing? We're all gonna make it. Hey Kogo, appreciate you for joining me as I teach myself Python. Thanks for stopping in. Let's go ahead and get this party started. How about you guys? All right, sorry, I restarted the stream. I had some audio problems and I didn't really like my energy coming into the stream. I was really yawning and tired, but now I kind of got some water in me. I'm feeling better, and we got some music going. It's feeling good. It's a happy Friday, March 25th, 21st, 2025. Sorry, oh my gosh, all over the place. I appreciate you guys being here. We are going to be learning and teaching ourselves Python like normal today in computer science. For those that are new, my name is Michael. Thanks so much for being here. I have a degree in human biology and a minor in chemistry. Graduated from college back in 2021. I was an undergraduate teaching fellow for the chemistry department and a laboratory instructor for the chemistry department. I work as a formulation chemist for a biotech company where I'm a scientist too for the past 3 years. And it's been pretty good so far. Thanks for the chats for coming in here. Hey Tim, welcome back in. Ryan, I appreciate you for guys joining me here. Kogo says, you are doing real learn in public. What you means? These are coming in. Yeah, Utah State did lose yesterday. My alma mater, they did get kicked out of the tournament yesterday. We saw that live on the stream, so too bad. Leave some thumbs up for Utah State on the stream. Leave a thumbs up on the stream if you guys are part of the early crew here. Smash that like. We got 6 of you guys in here, so let's get 6 thumbs up on the stream right now. Now's your chance. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the learning for today. So just a quick heads up. We're going to continue on with Fluent Python here. We read DSA in Python yesterday, and we're going to read Fluent Python today. And then we're going to do a potential Leet code problem maybe, and then shift focus. What is your goal after learning to code? I don't know. I feel like there's always something to learn, so I don't know if it'll ever be done, really. We're always going to be learning here and teaching ourselves code. I really would like to learn some and do some math courses, refreshing on our calculus, diving into big linear algebra and everything. But Tim's going to refer us to a job, and we're going to become Tim's best friend and coworker, so that's going to be our plan too. All right, let's go ahead and get started here. I like this song. I like this. Yeah, this is nice. Woo! All right, let's go ahead and open up our Fluent Python notes. Welcome everybody to the Friday night. It's Friday night, tonight on Nights. Welcome back. Friday night slow jams. All right.
It's fantastic.
We have a bigger heading here, a doubler, so using the plus operator and the star with sequences. Aha! All right, let's turn it down a little bit. Let's get this show on the road. Let me know how the volume is. You are from USA. I'm learning Python going to ML. What is ML? Machine learning, or what do you mean ML? Is that your institution? Welcome in, Kogo. Appreciate you for jumping in on the stream and joining me tonight. Feel free to subscribe and join along. We are at, let's get a sub count on the stream. Live sub count on the stream, guys. Live sub count. We are at 1,614. So hit a thumbs up and a sub if you guys are here. Let's keep growing. All right. All right. Python programmers expect that sequences support plus and star. Usually, both operands of plus must be the same sequence type and neither of them is modified. But a new sequence of that same type is created as a result of the concatenation. Right? To concatenate multiple copies of the same sequence, multiply it by an integer. Again, a new sequence is created. So you can take L as a list of 1, 2, 3. L times 5 gives you 1, 2, 3 times 5 in a new list object. Both the plus and star always create new objects and never change their operands. Okay. Usually, both the plus and the star operands operators will create a new object of the same sequence type and right. So I'm going to take this right here. City 1940. This is good. Bow, bow, bow. Okay. Gotcha, doing some machine learning. That's awesome, dude. How's that been going for you? Alright, both plus and star always create new objects and never change their operands. Beware of expressions like A times N, where A is a sequence containing mutable items, because the results may surprise you. For example, trying to initialize a list of lists as my list is a list of lists times 3 will result in a list with 3 references of the same inner list, which is probably not what you want. The next section covers the pitfalls of trying to use the star to initialize a list of lists. Building a list of lists. So here we go. Building list of lists. Okay. Sometimes you need to initialize a list with a certain number of nested lists. For example, to distribute students in a list of teams or to represent squares on a game board. The best way of doing so is with a list comprehension, as in example 2.14. A list with 3 lists, a list with 3 lists of length 3 can represent a tic-tac-toe board, right? So we create a list with a list of spaces or underscores times 3, so you get a list of 3 spaces for I in the range of 3. You'll generate 3 length lists, 3 lists of length 3 times. Got you. Perfect. So building a list of lists can be done with a list comprehension. Copy image. There. Okay. A tempting but okay, so this will create a list of 3 lists of 3 items each. Inspect the structure. Place a mark on row 1, column 2. Right there. So board index 1, so the second board as second position, 0, 1, 1, 2. Okay, so a tempting but wrong shortcut is doing it like example 215, where you have a list of 3 objects the same, which creates 3 separate aliases basically. So these are all the same list, because what's happening is when you place the marker, it gets placed in all 3 lists. What lecture do you want to do, Tim? What do you want to watch? What kind of courses should we take next, you guys? We're finishing our final project on Harvard CS50X, so we've got kind of a lot of work still to go on that we're chipping away on. Hopefully, about 2 weeks' time, we'll be able to have a pretty good working project. And then, but what other courses should we move on to? So the outer list is made of 3 lit references of the same inner list. While it's unchanged, it all seems right. Placing a mark on row 1, column 2 reveals that all rows are aliases referring to the same object. The problem with example 215 is that in essence it behaves like this code of a list generated 3 times. Board equals this. For I in range, just append that row to the board 3 times. The same row is appended 3 times to the board. Yeah. On the other hand, the list comprehension of example 214 is equivalent to this. Board is this, for I in the range of 3. Row is this, then append a board. So it's nested within. Each iteration builds a new row and appends it to the board, rather than referencing the same row in memory. It creates a new row in memory and appends that to the board. Got you. If either of the problem or solution in this section is not clear to you, relax. Chapter 6. This guy's sassing us here. Look at this. If either of the problem or the solution in this section is not clear to you, relax. Relax. Okay, relax. Chapter 6. Oh gosh, did not mean to do that. Come on. Can I Control Z? No. Ugh. We're right here. Relax. Chapter 6 was written to clarify the mechanics of pitfalls of references and immutable objects. So far we have discussed the use of the plain plus and star operators with sequences, but there are also the plus equals and star equals operators, which produce very different results depending on the mutability of the target sequence. The following structure explains how that works. Augmented assignment with sequences. Right, augmented assignment with sequences. Okay. The augmented assignment operators, plus, equals, and star equals, behave quite differently depending on the first operand. To simplify the discussion, we'll focus on the augmented addition first, but the concept also applies to the augmented multiplication and to other augmented assignment operators. The special method that makes this work is called the IAD for in-place addition. So augmented operators are like these: the plus equals, the star equals, right, etc. Move that forward. You're relaxed, bud. You're not that guy. Exactly. Okay. Right. So the dunder I add. We'll say the plus equals operator is implemented via the dunder I implemented via the dunder I add, or for in-place addition. Right? However, if dunder I add is not implemented, Python falls back on calling the dunder add. Consider this simple expression: a plus equals b. If a implements the dunder I add, it will be called. In this case, of mutable sequences, the variable a will be changed in place. The effect will be similar to a.extend b. However, when a does not implement the I add, the expression a plus equals b has the same effect as a equals plus b, a plus b. The expression a plus b is evaluated first, producing a new object, which is then bound to a. In other words, the identity of the object bound to a may or may not change depending on the availability of I add. Or will fall back on to dunder add if right. So, well, then we'll say like this, chat. What is the between I add and add? The difference between I add and add in Python is add implements standard addition, creates a new object instead of modifying the original. I add implements in-place addition, attempts to modify the existing object instead of creating a new one. If in-place modification is available, it falls back to the addition. Modifies the object in place. Okay. So we'll say this. So dunder I add, right? What does it do? It tries to modify the object in place. Right? And then just the dunder add, right, returns a new object. Okay. In general, for mutable sequence, it is good to bet that I_add is implemented and that plus equals happens in place. For immutable sequences, clearly there's no way for that to happen. What I just wrote about plus equals also applies to star equals, which is implemented via the imul. The I_add and imul special methods are discussed in chapter 16. Here's a demonstration of plus equals or star equals with a mutable sequence, and then an immutable one. So if you do this list, ID of the list is this, right? And then you say list multiply equals 2, list becomes 2 concatenations of the list. Whereas if you say, if you have T here, and you plus equals 2 on T, which is a tuple, you create a new object ID in memory. So what I'll do is here, I'll copy this down and say star equals is implemented via the imul, in place a multiplication. We'll fall back on the dunder mul. If imul tries to modify the object in place, returns a new object, right? And then what we'll do is we'll take this example here. Okay, and we'll take this here. This is a good example. Like so. So this tuple, when you call a multiplication on it, it just multiplies the tuple and creates a new object in memory, right? It's an immutable object. Repeating concatenation of immutable sequence is inefficient because instead of just appending new items, the interpreter has to copy the whole target sequence to create a new one, and the new item's concatenated. We've seen common use cases for the plus equals. The next section shows an intriguing corner case that highlights what immutable really means in the context of tuples. Okay, a plus equals assignment puzzler. To try to understand without using the console, what is the result of evaluating the two expressions? In example 216. Okay, let's see. Let's try to do this. Hey Marty, welcome, dude. Leave a thumbs up now that you're here. Welcome. Thanks for coming in. Happy Friday to you, dude. Happy Friday to you. Okay, so a riddle. T is equal to a tuple where we have 3 values in this tuple. The first value is 1, the second value is an integer 2, and the third value is a list that has 2 values inside. Right? So we learned about this earlier. We learned that tuples can have mutable objects inside of them. So a type error is not going to be raised because we can index into this second index and we can concatenate a list. So this will become, I think, becomes, what happens next? Type error is raised with the message tuple object does not support item assignment. Either, I think it's A. When I saw this, I was pretty sure the answer was B, but it's actually D, both A and B. Interesting. Example 217 is the actual output from Python 3.9. So here's the actual, the unexpected result. So you get a type error, but you get the object out. Online Python Tutor is an awesome online tool to visualize how Python works in detail. Figure 2.5 is a composite of two screenshots showing the initial and final states of the tuple T from examples 217. So here's what's going on. So we have tuple T up here. We index into tuple at index 2 and increase it by a list of 50 and 60. So the frames that take place here goes to tuple at index 2, sees that it's a list, initial and final state of the tuple assignment plus flow diagram generated by an offline Python tutor. If you look at the bytecode Python generates for expression s index a plus equals b, it becomes clear how that happens. So example 218 bytecode for the expression. Put the value of on top of the stack. Perform plus equals b. Assignment top of the stack is fails people. This example is quite a corner case. In 20 years using Python, I've never seen this strange behavior actually bite someone. I take 3 lessons from this. Avoid putting mutable items in tuples. Augmented assignment is not an atomic operation. We just saw it throwing an exception after doing its part of its job. Inspecting Python's bytecode is too difficult. It can be helpful. It's not too difficult. It can be helpful to see what is going on under the hood. After witnessing the subtleties of using plus and star for concatenation, we can change the subject to another essential operation with sequences, sorting. Alright, sorting is the next part of the chapter. We will pause there on the reading for today, and we'll move on and do a Leet code problem. How about, yeah? Alright, let's pause the tunes here, let YouTube not catch us here. We'll pause the tunes for a couple of minutes and then we'll restart them here. But let's go ahead and load up a Leet code problem. So we're stopping today at close to the end of page 56 at list.sort versus the sort built in. So if you guys remember right, I already kind of know what these methods pretty well. The .sort method will sort in place using log n time and sort the object in place, whereas the sorted function will return a new object into memory sorted of that same type. At least from what I understand so far. So we'll continue on with the reading into our next streams, and the reading we do is at the warm-up. So if you guys would like access to the books you see me reading on stream, I have PDF copies in my Discord, linked down below for free, as well as my GitHub notes are on my GitHub here. So let me go ahead and let's go ahead and git add here. Git commit continue chapter 2, and then let's push that, and there you go. So now you can get access to the live current run of my notes so far on my GitHub. So really detailed notes here that I've been taking, full of images and good information. So definitely check out these notes on GitHub, guys. Really, if you give it one read through, you take about 3 days. Give yourself about a day, 2 days a chapter. I would say read the notes 1 day, wait a little bit, read it again at the end of the day, come back the next day, read it one more time, and then do a little bit of practice, and then move on to the next chapter. So use my notes kind of like as spark notes to kind of extract the real juice out of the chapter here. But let's go ahead and move on to something else here. Right, leave a like on the stream if you guys are here and part of the normal crew. Thank you guys so much for being here. You guys are awesome. I think YouTube has kicked us out of the algorithm. I think our stream has been slowing down in terms of numbers, and for new people stopping in, it's kind of interesting. Alrighty. So this is the next Leet code problem of that is in order here of the easy ones that we're doing. So let's go ahead and get this going.
I'm hardly desperate for anything
Ooh.
really. I feel that whatever is mine.
Hey Colby, let's go. Welcome in. Leave a like on the stream. Thanks for stopping in again, dude. It's awesome to hear from you.
The world is pretty much the way
All
it
right.
is, and you have your
I'm also streaming on Twitch, you guys. Linked in the description if you'd like to watch on Twitch. You are given a large integer represented as an array of digits, where each digit's ith is the ith digit of the integer. The digits are ordered from most significant to least significant in left to right order. The large digit does not contain any leading zeros. Increment the large digit by 1 and return the resulting array of digits. Really? What? Really? Okay. That doesn't seem too hard. Okay. So you need to say...
extremely powerful.
So we have a list of digits, right? Let me get this right. We have a list of digits, and if we need to increase the digit by 1, basically. So we'll go like this. So let's think here. We want to start from the back, obviously. We want to then say... if you increase the value of any number by... If you increase the value by 9, you need to carry the 1 forward. Right?
Extremely powerful. And it just seems right. Extremely powerful.
So can we say... for I, so n is equal to the length of digits for I in the range of n, and then right, so we want to say the range of n of -1 to n negative n, so -1 to -n. We want to include that, so it'll be -1, the negative step, right? We want to include the last value in our range of n. No, so it's just -n, I think, -1. Okay. If digits at index I is equal to 9, so if it's equal to 9,
Some people call it jazz, but that name, just want my music to be called? Black classical music.
So if it's equal to 9, do I learn oriented after basics? Yeah, that's kind of where I would go, I guess. That's kind of what I did. Learn basics and then start diving into object-oriented stuff, classes, and things like that. So if digits index I is equal to 9, right, we want to if it's 9, what do we want to do? We want to increase it to 10, or set that value to 0. And then so we need to have a switch, basically, or something, right? So to add equals 0 at first, or equals 1 at first. So we're gonna say if it's 9, then we're going to set the digit to 0, reset it to 0, increment forward so if to add is equal to 1, that means we do need to add a value, right, at some point. If it's 9, we're going to reset to add to 0. Digit index I is equal to 0.
J'aime beaucoup la danse.
We set it equal to 0. Move forward. Add 1. This one's a little bit trickier than I thought, huh? So we could join the values, convert to an integer, add 1, and then split.
Je trouve que la danse est une chose extraordinaire comme vie, comme rythme. Et c'est tout à fait, je trouve ça très bien et je vis dedans très, très facile.
Vous avez utilisé notamment le thème de la danse.
J'aime
I don't know.
beaucoup la danse.
I don't think this is the right way to go about it. It's this flag thing. So if we want to work backwards and we say, okay, if you're on a value, we kind of need 2 pointers because we kind of need to know the next value. So we'll say equals to -1 to negative n plus 1. And then we'll say for j, and we'll then say j is equal to I on digits.
J'aime beaucoup la danse.
Ah.
Une danse.
So I need to increase the last one in the array. But if it becomes a 10, you override the value. You override the value and move down and add, continue adding.
At one point in the
So-
early years in Paris, when he was feeling extremely discouraged, he was just getting nowhere, and he went to see Picasso, and Picasso said, "Get in line, wait your turn, just pretend you're waiting for the subway." It's inevitable that you will meet a failure or
For
two
I in the
or three
range.
or four. At the same time, the art itself, the
What
product
if we say
of obsession,
if
obsessive kind of way of working,
digits
the paradigm
index
for
negative
is
1
free and spontaneous.
plus 1 is equal to 10, while digits index I plus 1 does not equal to 10, right? Once it equals
Surreal,
to 10, you
more
break.
real than reality itself. A dash of cubism.
No,
and a
while it
dollop of
equals to 10.
Matisse. Surreal, more real than reality
So while it
itself.
equals to 10, we
It's
want to
just too
continue the
difficult,
loop.
Too complex to really describe. Surreal, more real than reality itself.
So
A dash of cubism and a dollop of Matisse. Surreal, more real than reality itself.
So I at first is going to be equal to negative 1, right? So it's going to enter here. It'll try see this. Okay, that is true. It'll then say
Surreal, more real than reality itself. A dash of
try
cubism and a dollop of Matisse.
to
Surreal, more real than reality itself.
access
Too
digits
difficult, too complex
at
to
index
really describe.
I and plus that equal by 1.
In reality itself.
So if I is at negative 1 first, we say while digits index I plus 1 is equal to 10. So in this case, it will be true at this one. So if that's true, then we need to create a new array on here. Okay, so maybe we need to create a new array and go side by side. Equal length, it's blank. Okay, actually let's do that. So n is equal to the length of digits. We'll say blank is equal to an array of none values times n. We will say for I in the range of negative 1 to negative n minus 1 with a skip, negative 1, we're going to then say if digits index I is equal to 9. Oh, this one's tough. Shoot. So if we add 1, we need a second pointer, right? We need a j. We need a j, right? So we need a second pointer. So for j, in the range of we just say j is equal to I plus 1. Right? So we say j is I plus 1, which means that we have to go 1 less than here on I, so we don't go out of bounds. So if we increase the value of index I beyond, then we also need to increase the value of j. But if j, okay, so if I is equal to 9, then set digits index I is equal to 0, and then do digits index j plus equals 1. Then we say if we're going to add it. So we're going to add the number, right? So we'll say digits index I plus equals to 1. If digits index I is equal to 10, we're going to cancel it and move this forward. If So we're going to set it to if digits index j, if you increase j by 1 and it's 10, is equal to 10, we're going to we don't want to increase them at the start. So we don't want to increase at the start. We want to check if it's 9, or check if it's 10. If it's 10, we want to set it to 0. Right? If it's 10, we set it to 0. I feel like we should do this recursively, no? Like to continually pass in the counter. So we'll need a counter then. Right, we need a counter. Okay, actually let's do this. I don't need a J. If digits index I is equal to 9, right? We're going to counter plus equals 1. We're going to set digits index I to 0. So if digits index I is equal to 9, we're going to increase the counter, set it to 0, and move forward. Else, right, it's not equal to 9, digits index I plus equals counter. So we'll start the counter off at 1. We'll increase the counter, else move it forward, and then break out of the loop here. And then let's return digits here. Invalid syntax. Oh. So if you get 9, you increase the counter, meaning that, okay, we have a 9, we need to increase the magnitude count to carry over, else you'll just add the counter there. So if you keep adding 9 every time, it'll increase the magnitude and carry it over one forward. I think this will work. So then this is, if it's 9, we need to add the 0 onto the list. So if it's 9, we need to digits plus equals a 0 list at the end. You went up in magnitude. -1. Hey Gothier, thanks for stopping in, dude. What you working on tonight? Appreciate you guys for being here. So we have 9 that we're not properly accounting for. So then if you get we want to return digits. This is 9. So if digits index I is equal to 9, we're going to increase the counter Leet code, nice. So we're gonna increase the counter and go digits plus equals a 0 list. Oh, so if it equals to 9, increase the counter. Digits index I becomes 0, right? So that'll still fail though. So I just want to see it's not changing output. Digits index I becomes 0. I don't want to skip every other value. No. We want to have the negative step, so we go backwards. Let me take this and see. If I want to go one step at a time, is this correct? Not quite. Your range parameters are slightly off. Start, stop, step generates and restart. Stopping before stop, incrementing. Oh, so hold on, I want to go to all the way to n. -1 to -n. N is 1. Oh, so it's not even entering this loop because it's 1. So I have to say -n minus 1 to access. But then if I go to, if I is equal to -n break after that, right? Excluding. So now that reset it to 0, perfect. So what I need to do now is counter went up by 1, meaning that we added this. Is this Sweet Nita? Yeah, it is. Cool for you for recognizing that. That's cool, dude. You got that. It's part of the YouTube free library that they give the creators. Okay, so we're off slightly here because we're not appropriately. We're increasing the counter. Moving forward, we can't access anymore, so we need to return digits counter plus like this. Return. So if you have, we'll start counter off at 0, else counter plus equal 1, and then we'll add it to counter. We'll increase counter there by 1 if you find it. if you do happen to hit a 9, so then we want to go like this. Plus digits, if counter, else digits. So that fixed that one. So that's giving us an extra 1 value now. So we're always having a count. So then when you hit here, you return just digits, right? There you go. Dang it. So 0, 1 gets carried over. 0, 1 gets carried over. This is increasing counter by 1 on every time. So you return 1 plus digits out front if you keep carrying over. Hey Tim, doing some Leet code. So we pass those. So if you carry over at the very end, you return that. Else, we're not even using counter then. Plus 1. So if it equals to 9, you set it to that and continue forward. Carrying it forward, else you increase it by 1. So if you get to the very end, you add like that. I think that'll work. There we go. Woo! Leet code done for today, boys. Leet code complete. Yeah. Let's go, dance party. Dance party, boys. Haha! Leave a like on the stream for that one, boys. We're banging out all the easy ones first, my friend Tim. We're finishing these easy ones here. Woo! Nice. YouTube's detecting the audio. I gotta pause it here. Hold on. I'm gonna pause it so that they don't flag me here. I'm going to pause it for a little bit. All right. So we solved this one here. So what we did was we iterate backwards all the way throughout our entire list, right? If we reach a point where we hit a 9, we override that point to equal 0, right? And we continue forward, right? If we get to a point at the next number where we can add 1, we will add 1 and return the digits because we did not hit 9, right? if we hit 9 at any point, we're going to be carrying a 1 forward all the way till the end. So if we never return here, we need to put that 1 at the beginning of our list as a new digit. So that's why we're doing that. So I was using a counter to track for it, but it's way easier than that. I don't need to use a counter. I can just directly just insert that carried over 1 at the very beginning if you carry a 1 all the way forward. So let's say you have a value of 999 in your list. Well, you're carrying the 1 forward every single time as you go backwards through the list. You're adding the 9 to the last 9, the 1 to 0 to 1, 9 to 0 to 1, 0 to 1, and then you have to put the 1 out front for 1,000 or 10,000 because you were at 999, or for 1,000, I mean, sorry. And so now we are, and so, but if you can do a point where you hit here, then you will, right? But if you can't, if you go all the way through to the end, then you hit that right there. So let's go ahead and see some solutions here. If that's not equal 10, add the digits return, else return that plus 1. Yeah, pretty similar. Yeah, this guy's using the join and stuff. He's kind of cheating using Python methods. Stir int. Yeah, that's what I was doing, right? That's what I was thinking about doing at the first, was doing a list comp to basically join together all the lists, increase it by 1, convert it to an integer, back to a string, and then create a list comprehension from there. That's exactly the approach I was thinking of at first. But this one is not very fast. This is 3 linear, or like multiple linear iterations. This is this one passive n. This one's way better. Sir, may I please have an upvote? Upvote. Oh, you made it. You have a solution in here, Tim? Increase by 1 return. This is exactly what we have right here. Exactly what we have. Haha. Oh, sir, may I please have an upvote? This guy. If your first statement doesn't handle the carry digit, you write digit 0. Then you carry the 1 and add it to the left column. Not really the last line, it's just the case every number is a 9. It works because if the code is else bracket. If incrementing the last significant figure results in something less than 10, we can bail out. No need to continue. Yeah. This was my approach. Perfect. How do you post solutions on here? Describe your first thoughts. I knew I wanted to iterate from the back, but I needed a way to carry the 1 with me, carry the me on an increase of digits index I greater than 9. um, approach, start, go backwards, iterate backwards through the array and add and try to add 1 to every digit. If you reach a increase greater than 9, set that overwrite that value as 0 and continue forward. The clever insertions of the return statements will auto break if we are able to resolve resolve the carried over 1 value onto a future iteration. If not resolved within the loop, we concatenate list 1 plus digits modified greater than 9 values greater than 9 result in 0, right? If not resolved within the loop, we concatenate 1 2 digits with that is modified, that is now modified, that now has modified values of greater than 9 overwritten to 0. To 0. The time complexity of this is going to be O of n in the worst case. Right? Space complexity is also O of n. Because we're using the same amount of data points. Wait, if I am reusing the same array, is it O of n for memory? O of 1. O of 1 for space complexity. So let's go back here. Let's go here to my submission here. So tell us the speed. With O of n, memory, O of 1. Okay, it is O of 1. Right? And then here's our code. let's say, I knew I wanted to iterate from the back, but I needed a way to carry the 1 with me on an increase of digits index I greater than 9. Where digits, iterate backwards through the array and try to add 1 to every digit. If the increase exceeds results in digits index I equals to is greater than 9, overwrite that value as 0 and continue forward. The clever insertions of this return statement will auto break if we are able to resolve the carried over 1 onto a future iteration in the else block. If not resolved within the loop, we concatenate 1 to digits digits is now modified. Digits now has modified values greater than 9 changed to 0. Right, like that. Cool. And then let's put on here easy solution to plus 1 in Python. O of n, O of 1. O of n, what is it? Runtime? O of 1, O of n memory. Cool. There's a little Leet code post. Look at us. Little Leet code social meteors. Social meteors. All right. Go ahead and like that post on Leet code if you're wanting to take a look at it. All right, cool. So we solved that guy. That was the easy. That was the +1. So tomorrow we're gonna do the add binary. So that's one we'll tackle tomorrow. So we'll need definitely need to refresh, and then we'll do. I think Tim was doing square root the other day, right? Were you working on square root, Tim? So lots of good work gone here, guys. That was the 21st Leet code problem that we solved. So really cool. I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick. So give me 5 minutes, you guys. I appreciate you guys being here. Please subscribe if you're here and new to the channel. I do reading live in DSA and Python and in Fluent Python, the books that we're reading on stream. I have a little library over here that we're reading books. And then we take various notes on those books, and then we do Leet code problems to practice our DSA that we do in the readings. And then obviously our fluency in Python and everything also applies to these Leet code problems. And then we work on our projects. So thank you guys so much for being here. I'm gonna go to the restroom really quick. So I'll be right back. Let me go ahead and just put a little text on the screen. Bathroom message. Bathroom. 5 minute. All right. Be right back. Oh, you can like. Okay. Be right back, guys. We are back. Hello, everybody. Thanks for your patience. Just went to the bathroom real quick. Thank you guys for staying here with me. Let's get that fixed up. All right. Cool. Thank you guys for being here. What are you guys studying tonight? How's you guys' school going? Let me know what you guys' classes are going. I'm really interested if you guys are current CS majors. Let me know. Hey, Natty Sanis. This new music is heat. Yeah, it is. It's really good, huh? It's really nice. Hopefully YouTube doesn't keep getting on us about it. I'll just make it quiet so that it doesn't think I'm just like copying it or just ripping it. I don't want them to ban me. All right, let's move on to, should we do another one? Let's look at this. Given two strings A and B, return their sum as a binary string. Ooh. So you sum this. 1, 1, 1 becomes 0, 0, 1. You got these like the bitwise operators and stuff. I don't know those operators as well. I'll have to look at some of the bitwise operators because I'm really bad at the binary stuff. Ooh, hold on. I'm really bad at the binary stuff, so. And then let's take a peek at while we're here. Square root. Given a non-negative integer x, return the square root of x rounded down. The return integer should be non-negative as well. You must not use any built-in exponential functions. Ooh. Turn the square root rounded down. Square root rounded down. Oh. Interesting. All right, we'll tackle those tomorrow. We'll tackle those ones tomorrow, yeah. Okay, let's get working on our project for a little bit. Okay, so we're working on the Small Business Manager. If you guys aren't aware, this is what we've been building so far. Let's go ahead and pull up our GUI. This is our GUI of the Small Business Manager. It's pretty cool. We've got an inventory tab, we've got an expense tab, we've got a transactions tab, and then that's all we've got so far. So I think what I'm going to do is work on the transactions tab. We're going to get the for sale transaction, sold transact, sale, make a sale. And why are you detecting? Because I've gone over the hour mark. It doesn't like me using the YouTube creator music over an hour on streams, which is pretty annoying. So let me go here and go open up my Spotify. If you guys have some suggestions for free royalty-free music, let me know. This one is. All right. The GUI is beautiful. Tim, thanks so much. You like it? Yeah, it's pretty nice so far. I like how it kind of like it's it's not too like fancy or anything, but it's clean, it's simple, it gets the job done. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna style it afterwards. Is we're gonna basically choose the theme and we'll go through and just edit the individual widgets and style them however we want. This is just bare bones as it is, but it's pretty nice so far. So, all right. So actually, let's do this. I'm going to go like this. Let's go to our transactions tab. I'm going to make where is it at? No, not transactions tab, the inventory tab, my fault. We're gonna make the item search, we're gonna go inventory \n, two of them item search like that. So now if we run, we get this inventory search item. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go inventory, add item. Oh, whoops, wrong spot. Like that. There we go. Perfect. So now it's kind of explicit, inventory search item, right? I like that. And then what we're going to do, I'll add it here, but not here. We don't have enough room. Okay, so then what we're going to do now is let's go. I need to add in a clear button below this, right? Because the clear button will reset this to default. So we have a search button here. We're going to duplicate this down, put this on row 3 of the item search frame. Item search frame. Right here, configure row 3, item search clear button. We'll give that an equal weight as well. So now if we run, we'll have a button below, right there as well. And we're gonna make that called clear. And so if we run that, now we have clear and search there. So the clear button will override and disregard our filter search and just bring back our normal inventory, right? So you can filter for an ID of number 1, pull up that one line item, and then you can clear, and then it'll revert back, right? I think that's what it'll do. So we'll have something similar for the expenses, right? So let's go to the expenses tab, go down to the search row here, duplicate it, make it this a 3, item search clear button. Come down here, duplicate this button, item search button, item search clear, button, right? We'll need to kind of rename that one, I guess, too, for inventory. So I'm overwriting. They have the same thing. So search clear, clear. Make this 3. I make this clear. Now if we run. Okay, we have search and clear in inventory, and we have search and clear in expenses. then I'll go here and go for search expense. This is going to be expenses, search expense. Like so. There we go. Perfect. How's that look, you guys? Can it expand to full screen? No, I currently am not allowing for expanding. I kind of have it just as like a stationary smaller window. Now, I really don't, you know, I'm doing this just so I don't have to do the resizing and deal with that in terms of grid and these frames. Now, I could definitely figure that out now that I have a better understanding and make 2 rows and have this span the column. I think that would work easily. I could make it, but for right now I just have it as a stationary window and have these using the dot place method, and I'm placing them at specific pixel points, and I've kind of been able to, that's what really helped me wrap my mind around the whole placement manager operators and functions is that place method, and then I started to get practice with the grid, and it really helps from there as well. So yeah. So so transactions. Let's talk about transactions, you guys. I might need your help with this one. So I'm not really sure what to track for transactions in terms of, so we have inventory and expenses, and then you have transactions, which will have a secondary reference key of a foreign key that references the inventory ID, right? So the transaction will be on an inventory item, and it'll be for a sell, right? For when you make a sell. Now, what do we need to know when we make a sale? What do we need to know? Make sale. What do we need to know? We need to know the sale, obviously the date. We need to know the cost or the amount, right? We need to know obviously the item sold. We need to know the method of the sale. So this will be like the platform slash, you know, etc. 5, transportation or delivery. Right? Ship / deliv. We need to know, what else do we need to know, guys? Ship / delivery, date, amount, the item sold, method, platform, transaction, shipping. So any additional fees, any discounts, and obviously we have some notes for that transaction. Let me go ahead and pull up what I currently use on Excel and reference that. So date sold, the item that sold, the transportation method of the sale, the price of the sale, the transportation cost, the charge for transportation, right, the shipping charge, platform fees, discounts, and then so this is going to be 7, 8, 9. This is going to be total. total transaction charge, right? So the total transaction charge is the amount minus plus the transportation charge minus the fees minus the discounts. So if you charge them for an amount, that increases. If you charge them for a transportation fee, that increases, less any fees for the platform or whatever, less any discounts you provide. Right? How does that sound, you guys? Smoking Noir, welcome in, dude. I like that little penguin emoji. Cute little guy. Welcome in, man. Awesome to hear from you. Okay. So we're going to have, let's float this. So date. Date. Okay, so you have the date, the amount, right? You have the item sold, the item ID. You have the method, text, right? You have transportation. Text. You have transportation charge. You have fees. You have discounts. Fee. Discount, transportation charge, transportation, method, sale method, transportation method, discount is going to be a integer again. I'm going to take this. How does this look for my transactions table for my project? Your table looks well thought out, but I have a few observations and suggestions. Use real for amount, transportation charge, fee, and discount. You're storing monetary value, so integer might not be the best if you need a hand of 5 by 9. Use real, SQLite, floating type point values, or store amounts as cents integer representations. State, date time, default current timestamp. If you want the date to default to the current timestamp when a transaction is insured. timestamp, default current timestamp. You want to default, consider naming indexes for foreign key. SQLite is adding an index on. Foreign key references inventory ID. Index. I want to add a total transaction She sold it. Item. Amount. Item ID. So I'll put it there. So we want item amount rather. So this is the item amount that we sold the item for. The method of the sale, like what platform. Platform. Sale platform. Transportation. Transportation charge, fee, discount, foreign key. So we need to add on here one more thing and make this transaction total. So I want to try action total. And I want it to be like you can have in Excel auto or formulas. Can you do this in SQLite 3? Yes, in SQLite you can achieve this by using generated column, also known as computed column. Use a generated column. SQLite supports stored and virtual generated columns. In your case, a virtual column would be best because it calculates the transaction total on the fly without increasing storage size. Real generated as, always as, virtual. Okay, interesting. So you do discount. Transaction total is going to be a integer generated as always as item amount plus transportation charge less fee, less discount. This is what I have so far. Let's see if it likes this. Come up for a foreign key. Since computer. So I'm gonna see this. I am going to be converting to cents, dollars. Okay, so it has integer, primary key, date, timestamp, default current time stamp, time ID, integer, item amount, integer, sale platform, text, transportation, text, transportation charge, integer, fee, integer, discount, integer, transaction total, integer, generate always as amount, plus transaction charge, less fee, less discounts. So let me go to my Excel and make sure I'm computing that with all of those correctly. So if I go over here to my total charge, sold price less shipping and handling charge, no, plus shipping and handling charge, less fees, less discounts. Perfect. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to run this. Boom. Now if we go to here, refresh. Isn't this working? Oh, it's because I have. Okay. There we go. Now we have transactions. Okay. Sweet. Okay. So now what we're going to do, now you guys watch this. So now we have a transactions in our database. Right, we have inventory, expenses, transactions. Now what we're going to do is go into our transactions tab. And we're going to say select all from transactions. And then that'll be there. And so now if we run app.py, simply run, go here, boom. So we need to now adjust these. So if ID We set it to that. What other ones can we make small? So date will be in the medium. This will be, so let me open up my database here. Or let me go open up this. And let me see onto transactions class. We don't need this anymore. Oh, I don't have a note on the transactions. So let me go like this. Let me delete this. Let me go db dot execute drop how do show drop remove table. Drop table. Okay, drop table transactions. Right, so now if we open up this, it should be gone. Here we go. Now if we go into here, app.py, no, here, let's delete this, uncomment this, and we're gonna add in a note here. Okay, now we should have that back. There it is. Nope, no. And then if we go here, so we're gonna go back into transactions tab now. Now we need to edit these sides of these headings. So we have date, let's do item amount. We want in here, this is going to be item platform or sale platform. This is also going to house transportation. The note, that's fine. And the big ones, we want to save that for ID. Item ID will be in here as well. Item amounts there. Sale platform, transportation charge. Right. Fee. So I'll go fee, discount, and then this will be transaction total, like so. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Looks like I had a note. Okay. So now if we run this, transactions, item ID is really big. Why? Okay. Here. Okay. date doesn't need to be that big. So should I make this one a little bit, go extend it out and then put the transaction at the bottom? That might be easier. I think we should do that. So let's go like this. Let's need it. Yeah, we need to extend this out. We need it to be bigger. It's a big table. So what we're gonna do is let's go ahead and remove the sold frame, the search expense frame, and the for sale frame. Let's go ahead and extend this width out to 1200. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so now it's the full length and height of 730. Right. So we'll give it a height though now of, we'll give this 500. So now it will be significantly smaller like that. Discount and fee are really small up there. Let me take discount and fee off of here and add them onto here. It's still bleeding. Let me go to my inventory tab really quickly and see. Let's go to the matrix itself. Columns, headings. Configure the matrix frame. So why is that a little bit cut off? Let me decrease the width. So the matrix frame stickies. I'm not setting a designated width here though. I am doing this though, so I think I'm going beyond the bounds I'm allowed to. So let me decrease these to 85. I'm gonna increase these to 40 and set this width to 90 and leave it like that. So fee and discount don't need to be that big. Can't access that other side of the note. When over here I can. So it's just going beyond my bounds. So if heading in ID, item, ID, set it to min width 40, 45. If it's, oh wait, oops, not here. I went here. Keep messing with the wrong tab. Run this, make sure that's still fine. So sale platform can be smaller. So sale platform, so this can be definitely smaller. Let's move this to 75 min width, and then a width given here of 85. I'm going to duplicate this down, and I'm going to remove out of here. Transportation will stay. This will get removed out. Note will stay, total will move out, fee will stay, discount will stay, platform will stay, item amount can stay, date can stay. We'll get rid of date here, get rid of amount stays, sale platform goes. Transportation goes. Transportation's charge stays. Note goes. Total stays. Fee goes. Discount goes. Now if we run, it's still bleeding off. Why is it bleeding off? So date can be even smaller. So if it's date, min width, width is 75, minimum width can be 65. Is that not working? Date. Why is that not working? ID is going small. Is item ID the same size? Yeah. me grab that note. What is going on with that? West. Is that anchor on the other one? Anchor West. So if I go back to the transactions tab, set this to 850. Good to before. Now I get that bound, but not over there. So let's set it to my entire thing is 1200, so let's set it to 1150. There we go. That's why. Obviously, I set it to like 950. Hey, love.
Hi. Crispy outside,
Crispy outside.
kiwi center, and lots of chocolate.
Ooh, look at this, you guys. Getting hooked up over here. Look at that.
Crinkle edges.
We got 11 homies in here hanging out with me while I code.
Let's do a quick rating.
Do a quick rating. Is it hot?
No, I let it cool down.
All right, quick rating.
Ooh. Sounded good.
They're really good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I was out there trying to do that yoga move that we saw. I was like falling on my face. It was so hard.
Well, yeah, I was like that.
Because where you're bound, you put this like on your bicep.
Look at that, guys.
You do it.
Look at that.
I'm gonna make more.
I'll be done here soon.
No rush.
That's really good. Get yourself a girlfriend if you guys don't have one. And make your cookies there. Nice. Okay. So if I put it at 1200, right? The total length of my frame, my total thing, it bleeds, right? Because it's over here. So I need it to be here, where what size is my notebook? My notebook is filling both pack. So it's having some natural something. So if I go 1190, how far do I have to go? Let's test it. Not yet. If I go 1180, not yet. If I go 1170, not yet. It's getting there. 11. So we know 650 works. So 60. Is it 50 pixels padded? Naturally? Oh, it might be. Now if we go 50, I think we'll get it here. If I remember right. There's the edge. now we get the edge there at note. So if I go back up to 55, do we get the edge still? No. So 50 is the hit. It's 50 pixels padded. So 1150, height 500. So that's what we have now is here. So we have ID, date. So what happens if I throw... I'm gonna throw the date on here as well. But it's not gonna be that long. Now, yeah, okay, cool. So now we have item ID, date, or ID of the transaction, date, item ID, item amount, sale platform, transportation charge, fee, discount, total, note. What happens if I throw fee on here too? Right, let me throw fee on here. It's really small text. That leads in. Make the, I'll set this one so you can't shrink. So it's bound. Oh, you shouldn't be able to shrink. So it does automatically. So it resizes so it can see the word. Okay. So then we'll put like that. That's fine. Let's look up. Okay. So now we're gonna have some blocks below here to add, basically. Right. Let's think here. We do need to do this though. Let's bring this over here. I do need to go like this into the transactions class. Let's go ahead and push this while we currently can. Jeez. Added table to DB. Added transact to okay. Pushed up. All right, so now let's see here. We want to make a transaction, right? So sold item frame is going to be on, so we're going to have a frame, a width of 1150 divided by 2, and a height of, our height is currently, of our entire program, is 800. It's padded by 50, 750, we have 500, that leaves us 250 left. So we're gonna have a height of 200, or 225. We place that, and so we're gonna place it at X is going to be equal to, in this case, 0, and Y at 225. So if we run that, I should have a frame down right here. Okay, so that's my frame here. So I need to come down more. Y at 500, because that goes to 500. So now that should be in line with that yeah. So now if we go split the difference at Y 525, it should be exactly where we want it. No, dang it. Oh. If I go, I was at 500, so when you go to 520. No, I gotta come higher. So 510. There we go, 510. That's where it goes. So then we're gonna have right, for committing a transaction. So we're going to add in a sold frame label. It's going to equal to a ttk dot label. We're going to put in onto the sold frame, and we're going to put a text equal to commit transaction, like so. We're going to do sold frame label dot grid onto the frame. We're going to put this onto row 0, column 0. Right, and so now if we do this, we should see that in the top left corner. Perfect. Commit transaction. Let's go ahead and give this a font equal to quote Arial, size 40. Now if we run that, it's big. Okay, we're going to say commit transaction, and we'll lower this down to 30. There we go. So we're gonna have, what do we need to do? A date field. We'll make this 20. We need a date field. We need an item ID field, an amount, a platform drop down. Right, a platform drop down, a transportation drop down, so we might need to make this the full length. It's pretty big, or go back to our previous. Let's go like this. Let's what should I do? I want to put it on the side like I did these ones. Yeah, I kind of do. So let's put this back to width of 850, height of 730. I'm gonna delete this label, move this back, put this at 860 and this at 492. There, this was at the sold frame. I'm not gonna use actually, so we go here, run. Now we have this. We're going to extend out the for sale. This is going to be the transaction frame. Right. Transaction frame. The height of this is going to be height relative. Height equal so if we say 800 here, what does that look like? Almost way too big. So if I say height, it's 500. Is that like perfect? So if I say 550 or 525. No, height 300. Way too small. So let's go 450. Close. 600. Puts me right in line with that guy. So I'm gonna go 495, 490. A little bit of a gap. Let's go 480. A little bit more spacing there. That. What kind of gap do I have on those guys? So this frame on the inventory tab is a height of 730. So they have the same heights. So what is the height on this one? 730 divided by 3. So let's take this and we'll make it the same, but we'll give it a different factor of half as much to reduce by, and so this will be half as big, just like that. Perfect. So now we have a search down here, and then we have a transactions here. So I'm going to come down over from our transaction. Let's go to our expense tab. I'm going to take the add expense pretty much in its entirety. I'm going to bring this over to the transactions, put this on the bottom down here, go like this. This is going to be pasted there. This is going to be add or commit transaction, and then we're going to edit this. So this is going to be add commit transaction label, right? And we're going to put this into the transactions frame. We're gonna take this, copy, put it on there. This gets added to the grid. Column span 2. It's fine. We're gonna add it to the grid here as well. Label. No. Transactions frame. Like that. And then, so we have a transaction label. We have a date label, which is fine. Date, row 2. What was in row 1? Okay, I think I skipped a row. Give some spacing on purpose. Okay, so I need a date label and a date entry. That's fine. We need a, what's our next thing here? We need a item ID to enter in, right? So this is going to be item ID label, item ID entry. Okay, this is going to say item ID. This is going to be the item amount label. this is going to be the sold price label. Right? We're going to take this as sold price. This is going to be sold price entry. Okay. Next is the sale platform. Right, so this is going to be a combo box. This is perfect. So this is going to be like Instagram or whatever they would add. These are just tests for right now. These are just dummy right now. Like Depop. Okay. Category. So this is going to be platforms. Platform label. Platform label. Platforms. Platform. Platform.grid. Next is the transportation combo box. Transport method. This is going to be shipping, delivery, other. For right now, transport methods. So we need transport method label, transport method. We'll add that on. Method, transport methods, method dot. So we transport method, right? And then what else we have? We have transportation charge. Transport charge label, trans charge. That gets added on. Transportation charge entry. This is going to be a button for transact. Commit. Okay, so let's see what we got so far. Cool. So we're not giving any weight right now. That's why it looks like that. It's just sticking to the right, which is okay. Let's go ahead and give it we got to go up here. Transaction frame. Transaction frame dot row configure row 0. Weight is going to be equal to 2, and we'll make row 1 have a weight of 1. Oh, I'm sorry. I should say column configure. Now if we run. There you go. now it's centered. Perfect. So now what happens if I give this like a weight of like 5? Just drastically change it. Is it creeping in more and more? What if I get a way to take 15? Nothing. It's not moving dynamically. I might have to have these come on top. Okay, so what else do we need? We have trans charge, we need a fee, discount, and total. Just come down here, transportation charge label. We're gonna make this fee label. Fee. Fee label, fee entry, fee entry. Copy this down. This is going to be discount label, discount label, discount, discount entry. And then discount entry. Yeah, I built this entire project with Python so far, confident letter C. Thanks for coming in and leaving a comment. Sorry I didn't get to you sooner, but I've been building this entirely in Python. We started out with a version 1.0, which got about 90% complete until I realized, it was pretty hard to add in new features and scale it more and more. And this just used and incorporated menu prompting via the terminal here, like through various menu loops and stuff, which was pretty cool, right? But I was just having struggles like scaling it up, so we decided to learn Tkinter, and which we have been doing pretty well so far, which I'm pretty happy about, and we've been making a GUI, which is really cool. So pretty awesome so far, right? All in Python. So discount, and then what else? There's transaction total and notes. Or transaction total is auto-charged. So this is auto-generated. This you need to type in. This you need to give. You have to give that. You have to give that. You have to give that. You have to give that, that, and that. This is auto-computed. You need to give a note if possible. So let's go to transaction tab. So we'll go one more. This will be the note label. Note label, note entry, note entry, right? So now let's go ahead and make sure that these are properly put in the right rows. So row 2, row 3, row 4, 5, 6, 7. This should be 8. This should be 9. This should be 10. And then this should be 11. Right, so now if we look at this, Perfect, like that. But now what we'll do is, to get this to space out evenly, is we'll go like this. Transactions frame dot row configure row 0 weight equals to 1, right? And then we'll go like this. For I in range of 11, right? Because we had 10 total rows. Transaction frame row I here. So now if we do that, now it's all evenly spaced. Look at that. Woo! So what I did there was, rather than just creating 10 lines, doing row configure on each, I ran a for loop and used Python to do this for me. So really awesome there, cool. So now we have date, item ID, sold price, category, trans method, trans charge, so we'll make it trans P method, so that it'll still read. So trans method, trans CRG charge. Trans method. So we might have to create some more rows and have this wrap. Actually, so let's go like this. Let's go word wrap. 15. So it's gonna be on the charge. Way too much. 150. Not enough. 100. Not enough. 50. And the trans charge. There you go. So transport transportation charge. We'll make it go full and we'll wrap. $80. Close. 85. I'm losing the N now. Go 95. $100. Come on. So we'll just go trans method. Like that. And then we'll lower this down. 50. Okay, there we go. Do set that width to 15 on purpose. Sail platform. So day sail platform. This would be a little bit bigger, so 60. Okay, so then can I go anchor center, anchor center, justify center. Perfect. 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 So what happens if I get rid of the anchor center? It stays there. So it's the justify center. Nice. So date, ID, sail platform. So then what I'll do is I will remove the width on these combo boxes. Perfect. Dude, nice. Did you guys like having them be slightly staggered on the combo boxes for like on an inside, or having them be the same length? What do you guys think is cleaner? Same length combo boxes, or varying width, slightly staggered combo boxes like this? I kind of like that, honestly. Looks kind of clean. Because I have this going on. That's why I did it. So sold price needs to wrap as well. So sold price, this has to wrap at like, this has got to wrap early at like 50. Maybe even less than that. And that's fine, sold price. I kind of like this, how it is like that. A little bit staggered on the inside. That looks awesome. This looks really good. This looks really good. Yes. And commit. And this will be search. So this shouldn't say, this should be commit transaction over here. commit transaction. And what happens if I give you a new line there? Get some spacing. Okay, that looks good. I have 2 discounts. That should say note. So now we have date, item ID. So let's make sure this aligns with our here. So we have date that we'll need, item ID, item amount or the sold price. So I need to do that. I need to do the justify center on sold price. So now sold price will be centered. Perfect if we wrap. So then let me also do it, I guess, if I'm going to do it here, I do justify. Okay, perfect. Nice. So we have a date, a sold price, an amount, right, which is item amount, sale platform, so I might need to update these to be represent these. Transportation method, transportation charge, fee, discount, note, because sold price doesn't match item amount. So I'll say item amount instead of sold price. So it matches. Right. Like that. So now if we run, date, item ID, item amount, sale platform, transportation method, transportation charge, fee, discount, note. Perfect. Then commit transaction. I think I'm going to give a little spacing at the bottom. So let's do, I'm going to put this on 12. And then let's give a configure on my range. Oh. 13. Let's be 12. So we got 12, and I gave that, kept that at 11. What happens? Nothing. Just running out of space, I think. So I'm gonna give the 12 a little bit more weight. So that's 11. 10. Transaction dot row configure 11. Weight equals 2. have to put something in there, like a frame, basically. So we'll get rid of this. We'll make this back to 12. That way 11 is included. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to remove this. I don't like it. So now it's pretty even. Commit transaction like that. That looks good. Then we'll have a search here. So let's go to our inventory or expenses tab. We're gonna take the item search label right here, pretty much. Transactions tab. This is gonna be commit transaction button. Right, this is gonna be search transaction. Search transaction label. Search transaction filter. Transactions filter. Combo box. Headings. Combo box headings, that's fine. Search transactions entry. So now I've got to give a row configure to these guys here and a column configure. So let's go to expenses. Let me go to the search frame. I'm going to take this over here, search expense frame, paste that there. Search transactions frame. Okay, so now if I run app.py, there. Not defined. And search transactions new. Frame. Now if I run, there we go. Search transactions. Search transaction. turn up the word wrap to 50. Or I don't think I have to turn it up, I think I have to turn it down, I mean. No, 275. Hey Carnival, this looks cool. Will you open source? I would love to contribute. Yeah, I've really been thinking about it. I kind of wanted to get a little bit more of a working program structure going, and then we can add in additional features to like open source and contributing throughout the channel and the community. So join the Discord link below, subscribe to the channel. Carnival, thanks so much for coming in. Yeah, I want to open up to collab and working with people. So this is what we got so far. Inventory, you can add inventory, right, and search via here. Expenses, add expenses. Transactions, you can make a transaction and search the transactions. So why is this heading not working? Search. So this heading, search transactions label, text search transactions. Fonts, Arial 34, wrap 275, justify center. Add the label 00, column span 2. Do I justify the columns? Search transaction from column configure. I think that was it. No. I wanted that to be on weight 2. To be smaller. Right, it's a little bit smaller. But I don't actually, my things are pretty big. So I probably want to make that even. But I don't know why the label is being weird. Is the font just too big? We have commit transaction up there. Right, the commit transaction label. I'm gonna take it. I'm just gonna put it on here. Search transactions label. Put it here. This is gonna be onto the search transactions frame. Now what happens if I run? It still is cut off like was before. Search. Let me go 300 on the word wrap. It doesn't do anything. It's not even centered. Anchor center as well. So what if I column span it just 1? It doesn't go into the second column like it should be. So now if we reverse that back to, if I make the font smaller at like 28, now it fits. So it's just the font size was too big. What was the padding of this frame? There is no padding on the frame. If we set the padding to 0 and then bring our font back up to 34, what the other one is, right? Yeah. And run. Still's cut off. Do we have a third column that we're getting cut off by? Let me try the column span on here of right here, column span 3. No. So our frame, something's cutting off here. I really don't know why. Column 2, column 0, column 0, column 1, column 0 for the clear button. The search is in 0, entries in 1, 0. It's important but often not taught, but about the difference between open source and free software. It's actually a big deal, but not taught in most schools. Yes, free software generally means free to use, and people often misinterpret it. Free as in freedom, not price. Free software protects human rights. Open source doesn't care. What do you mean? Like, what would this kind of be? What would this be classified then as if I were to open this to the public or whatnot? RMs and others pointed out that we need to avoid open source. There are a bunch of open source projects which can be used for anything. So open source means you could use the project for like evil intentions too, whereas free use just means that you have to abide by a free use license under certain circumstances. Like, it's obviously not free for all like malicious intent. Free software ethos. So it's free for the intended purposes of the software, but not for people to manipulate to do other things. Yeah, protect people's rights. So why though am I getting cut off over here when I'm not up here? What's the difference between these two frames? So the matrix, the transaction frame is really solid border 1, padding of 15 on the transaction frame, padding of 0, padding of 15, transaction frame. It has the same width. Oh, but I gave it a special padding here of 35. That's exactly why. There it was. There it was. There we go. Nice. I had some padding in there that wasn't making sense. So what I'm going to do though is I'm going to get rid of the padding on the frames altogether on the top and bottom. There we go. So now it will... actually I'm going to keep the padding. 15. That just gives you a little bit of room on the inside of the border. Right here. So it's not super on the edge. That looks really good. Yes, exactly. Open source is to mask any evil intentions with a lovely name. Free as in freedom, English language is limited, so it makes more libre software. The word free in English is limited people really mean freedom. Even in open source, there are a bit of licenses types that prohibit evil use cases. Yeah, like I know that OpenAI, they obviously have some licensing or some agreements you got to abide by, right? Interesting. All right, so we made a lot of progress. We completed the database structure for the transactions tab, which was really a big chunk done. We have 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 instance variables associated with a transaction class. I'm going to need to now, tomorrow, actually populate that into the transaction class, and hard code those variables in. But our database now has ID, item, prime ID for a transaction, a date for the transaction, the item ID, right? That is the reference foreign key of an item from our inventory, the item amount, the sold price of the item, the sale platform where it was sold. That's pretty important for my tracking purposes. Transportation, shipping and handling versus delivery or whatnot, the charge of that associated fee, the fee, a fee in general on like a platform fee or just a general fee, like in terms of whatever, a discount that could be applied to the sale, and then a total, which is a generated formula here, and then a note associated with that transaction. And so now what we have is a transactions matrix that extends our entire display here, except for about 2/5 or something, a quarter of it is taken up by this commit transactions chunk here, where we have obviously all this information to commit a transaction. You'll need to populate all of this to do it, and to do it, and then obviously right here, then you can filter and select various of these headings to then search for data points and filter and adjust based this matrix. So what we'll do is when they search for a filter parameter or by item amount, let's say $10, they press search, it'll now populate this matrix. It'll do a query to our database in transactions. It'll say select all transactions where item amount equals $10, and it'll populate that here. And then when they clear, it'll just go back to select all transactions and then populate it. So it's gonna be really, really cool when we get it all synced up. I'm super, super excited. So I'll be streaming this weekend quite a bit. So thank you guys so much for joining me this evening. We streamed for 3 hours and 20 minutes, so quite a long stream. I really, really appreciate you guys staying with me for this work session. We started out in our stream with some reading in our Fluent Python book that we've been reading. Tomorrow we'll continue on with the DSA in Python book as we alternate days on the books that we read. And then we solved the Leet code problem today, which was, let's pull that up. Which Leet code did we do? We solved the Leet code problem to put our DSA in Fluent Python into practice. We solved the plus one, number 66. We solved this one with no help. We solved it in about 20 minutes. So we solved it no help, all on our own. It was really fun. So thank you guys so much for being here. I stream every single day around 7 p.m. PST, but on the weekends I come on a little bit earlier. So I'll announce in the Discord if I have a new time. I'll come on for usually double features or late night after hour streams or whatnot. So if you're new here, thanks for joining me. Please, hey Prax, thanks for joining here. I'll show you what we're done today. So today we successfully worked and completed the GUI interface for the transactions tab. So now we have the inventory completed, the expenses completed, and the transactions front end completed. We do need to sync these up with the back end, but then so far we're making a lot of really good progress here. I'm really unsure how I'm going to go about this income statement and balance sheet section. These ones are going to be pretty unique. I'm going to have to do some planning and I'm going to have to call my old man and talk to him about how he formulates his income statements and balance sheets when he does double entry accounting, because he's an accountant. So I want to talk to him about that. And then otherwise it looks really, really good. So let me know what you guys think about the current structure, and let me know if you guys would like any changes or any fixes or whatnot. It looks really good so far in my opinion. And we completed the transactions database structure today, implementing it into the matrix, and then obviously the front end here as well for transactions. So I'll be back tomorrow. I'll let you guys know in the Discord what time I come on. For those that are new, my name is Michael. I'm 26 years old. I have a degree in human biology and a minor in chemistry, and I work as a formulation chemist for a biotech company where I make biological controls that are used to help and aid in diagnosing patients in various diseases. I work with a lot of blood, urine, serum, plasma, a lot of biological elements that I will formulate into various solutions at large batch scales that can then get bottled and sold at minor small scales to various customers and whatnot to help with patient diagnostics and research. And I've been teaching myself how to code and mainly and learn more about computer science for about 7-8 months now, and I've been doing everyday sessions for about 4 months, and we've come a long way in a short period of time, but we've got a long ways to go. So thank you guys truly for being here and joining me. I'll be back tomorrow to continue on with our reading, Leet code practice, and project work. So see you guys then. Please leave a like on the stream. YouTube, I think, has been honestly, I really think YouTube kind of has stopped picking us up in the algorithm. Unfortunately, I used to get almost minimum 500 views a stream, and now we're barely over the 200 marks. But it's okay, it's about the learning. But it's always really fun when we get more and more people in here, new people in, to enjoy the stream and hang out and talk and give their perspectives, especially if they're in school and whatnot. So thank you guys so much for being here. Leave a thumbs up to help support the stream and share with your friends if you wouldn't mind. I really appreciate you guys being here. I'll be back tomorrow. See you guys.